Okay.
Good evening, I'm W.B. Braxton, man, 2AK started in the back. And I'm here at the Salvation Army 2 West Gray Street. And we're in line waiting the tickets to be handed out at 6:15 p.m. And the meals are 6:15 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday through weekend. Breakfast.
Now, what time is it?
What time is it now?
I'm asking you.
It's 6:13 on my watch. This may not be accurate. But breakfast I've yet to go to, but I've heard they have a breakfast like dinner. They serve a full meal, unlike the erstwhile Freedom House Conrad Center that serve meager meals. In fact, I may have popularized that word, meager meals. Another meager meal we may or may not have second. That was at the Conrad Center at Freedom House.
What do you mean by meager meal?
The meager meal was a dab of green peas, a dab of rice, a dab of whatever the meat may be for dinner. For breakfast, they usually had 2 hard-boiled eggs, 1 roll, and a dab of lukewarm cereal. And that was a meager meal for the distance that one would have to travel down to the Conrad Center when it was there. It's still there, except Freedom House is gone, but Central Intake is there until they find somewhere to relocate to. So when men and women had to walk down there and that distance in Chaco Valley, it was hardship in inclement weather. Bicycles are fair weather, and everybody didn't have $3 round trip to go down there for a meal or to get a referral to get into Caritas, Overflow, or the Salvation Army, or ESI. But now we're blessed to have this location. Salvation Army is 2 West Gray Street. It's not in the valley, it's on a flat surface. And they serve a full serving when they serve it, whether they have seconds or not. And we have a canopy we can stand under if it should rain. Whereas the building was built from the earth up, the architect either ignored or didn't care if the people had to wait outside, unless somebody would let somebody in to wait in the vestibule.
Do you think that the meals here are better than the ones at the Conrad Center that they were feeding the people?
I'd say, other than the quantity is definitely more, I believe it's cooked a little bit better than it was at the Conrad Center.
Do you think that the meals fill the men up? These are full-grown men. Men need to eat. Men have appetites. Do they fill the men up with the meals?
All the nights I've been here, on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and some Sundays, I've always gotten a full plate. And in this line we have men and women. In other nights I'm sure they had men and women. Now I can't understand why the major don't want to make flyers. And I put this to Dan McManus. He's willing to. He likes the idea of flyers and the press conference, but the major don't seem like he wants to help Dan McManus out, and I don't have an explanation for that.
Why the flyers? What would you do with the flyers?
The flyers will be distributed at the downtown churches, especially one on Mondays at Second Presbyterian, and one on Fridays at Seminary. They have a large gathering for lunch. Or even the other churches that don't have a large gathering. So more people will be informed that they can eat breakfast in the morning if they're willing to get up at 4 in the morning to be here 5:15 a.m. to 6:15 a.m. Mondays through Friday. And one would have to go to Monroe Park to get breakfast in Monroe Park. And men and women can come here for dinner time.
What are the other options for a person to eat if they miss this calling for dinner? Where else could they go and get something to eat?
Oh, As I repeated, Tuesdays and Thursdays, there are two churches that have meals and Bible study. The Alpha and Omega Bible Church, located 2944 West Marshall Street or Altamont on West Marshall Street. Tuesdays, dinner from 6 to 7, Bible study from 7 to 8
p.m.
The movie night, which falls on the fourth Friday, which the Friday coming up will be the fourth Friday, and the time is 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. for dinner, and the movie from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. the fourth Friday of this month. And before then will be First Baptist Grace Fellowship, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for dinner, and 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Bible study.
Is there transportation for the people, or do they have to foot it? I know before most of them walked at least 10 miles a day. Is there transportation to carry these people to the churches? Do these churches have their own buses?
Have to have $3 round trip, and everybody doesn't have $3 round trip.
Well, I'm $3 round trip on the bus, or they have their own, the churches have their own transportation?
No, $3 round trip or $5 and $10 swipe cards for the GRTC bus.
So there's no other option for transportation?
Other than a bicycle, and as I said before, bicycle is a fair weather vehicle.
So what about the people that have no legs, in the wheelchairs, amputees? What about them? How are they expected to get around?
Some of them have ponchos, some of them have umbrellas, some of them have a partner, and some of them do not have a partner. It's more of a hardship for a handicapped man or woman than it is for an able-bodied man or woman. But my concern now is for where do people go to sleep after you've eaten breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or just lunch and dinner, or just one meal, dinner. Because I was concerned about people being ousted from Canal Plaza Park this past Thursday.
Now tell me about the Canal Plaza Park. Now I was there during Occupy Richmond. Over 20 years the people have slept in the parks. Where will the people go now? I understand they're being ran out the parks, told that they can no longer sleep in the parks.
That's correct.
Where will the people go?
I asked the question when I learned about it at Alpha and Omega Bible Church from Dr. Carolyn Johnson at 2944 West Marshall Street. She had no answer. And when I see Pastor Vicky this Thursday at Grace Fellowship, I'll probably receive no answer from her. They were asked to help move the people and their belongings or possessions out of the park. Where they went to, they don't know. But I was disturbed that 4 people found someplace that they ended up getting arrested for trespassing. And that seemed unfair, it seemed unethical, it seemed like it's putting the campers in a bind.
So when they leave the park, they basically don't have anywhere else for them to go.
That's correct. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest people go to Greyhound Trailway Bus Terminal. I met a young lady, I won't mention her name. I'll refer to her as the Chocolate Delight. She's from Norfolk. And she's like the prodigal daughter. And she wanted to find her way. And she was eating meals at the Conrad Center, served by the Freedom House. I met her on April 30th, which was the final day. So we walked from that location to McDonald's at 2700 West Broad Street, which has a problem that some managers perceive with people being there past 30 minutes and bringing in outside food. But people need somewhere to get it out the element. People have to panhandle money if they don't have money from a temp job or from a check, buy food and beverages, stay there until closing time, which is 11 o'clock, Mondays through Thursday, and 1 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays, and then they go back to 11 o'clock on Sunday. So when Chocolate Delight and I left, there was no other place I could say to bring her except the Trailway Bus Terminal. And we were in the restaurant, called the restaurant, and we were talking about the plight of homelessness, advocacy, and also characters in the Bible. And then this security guard